همه دردم امید درمان است که آخری بود آخر شبان یلدا را. هنوز با همه دردم امید درمان است که آخری بود آخر شبان یلدا را. The Persian poet Saadi has faith that just as the longest, darkest night of the year, Shab Yalda, Winter Solstice, comes to an end, so will the suffering in his heart. He sees the light at the end of the tunnel, as do we when we come together on Winter Solstice with family and food and friends in our heated homes. What we are really celebrating is the dream of lengthening days, the promise of the coming light, the promise of equinox, of spring, of Norouz. This yearning of mankind for light, heat, order, good, fire, dates back thousands of years to the dawn of humanity. In some cultures, they thought fire came from the belly of the earth as molten lava, or was striking from the clouds to burn trees. Perhaps mankind kept these fires burning for light, heat, protection against wild animals. But mankind did not know at first how to make fire. The story of the taming of fire in the Persian myth of creation is handed down to us through the Bundahishan, the Avesta, the Shahnameh. Once upon a time, in the ancient mythical land of Iran, Ayrianem Vaija, one of the 16 lands created by Ahura Mazda, God to Zoroastrians, there lived a mythical king, Houshang, who riding through the mountain with his men one day came upon a long black serpent with eyes like pools of blood, black smoke spewing from its jaw, darkening the world of the Shah. The clever king seized the stone and hurled it with his royal might. But the serpent left its spot, and the stone hit the bigger rock, shattering them both to shards, from which radiated sparks, and before their eyes, flames grew from the heart of glowing stones. Houshang, king of the world, hailed it a gift from God to hold in high regard. And around the swelling fire, they danced all night with mirth at this wonderful birth of fire and light. The dawning of a new era, mankind no longer in flight, escaping fire in fright. The dawning of a new era, the era of blacksmithing, آهنگری. یکی روز شاه جهان سوی کوه گذر کرد با چند کس همگروه. پدید آمد از دور چیزی دراز، سیه رنگ و تیر تن و تیز تاز. دو چشم از بر سر چو دو چشم خون، ز دود دهانش جهان تیرگون. نگه کرد هوشنگ با هوش و سنگ، گرفتش یکی سنگ و شد تیز چنگ. به زور کیانی رهانید دست، جهان سوز مار از جهان جوی جست. برآمد به سنگ گران سنگ خرد، همان و همین سنگ بشکست خورد. فروغی پدید آمد از هر دو سنگ، دل سنگ گشت از فروغ آذرنگ. نشد مار کشته ولیکن ز راز، از این طبع سنگ آتش آمد فراز. جهاندار پیش جهان آفرین، نیایش همی کرد و خواند آفرین. که او را فروغی چنین هدیه داد، همان آتش آنگاه قبله نهاد. بگفتا فروغی است این ایزدی، پرستید باید اگر بخردی. شب آمد آتش برافروخت چو کوه، همان شاه در گرد او با گروه. یکی جشن کرد آن شب و باده خورد، سده نام آن جشن فرخنده کرد. ز هوشنگ ماند این سده یادگار، ز هوشنگ ماند این سده یادگار. بسی باد چون او دگر شهریار، کز آباد کردن جهان شاد کرد. جهانی به نیکی از او یاد کرد. The legacy of King Houshang, this great celebration around the bonfire, is Jashneh Sadeh, the Feast of 100, also called Adur Jashan, the Feast of Fire by Zoroastrians. Jashneh Sadeh, the Feast of 100. Why 100? In ancient times, there were two seasons, greater summer and greater winter. Greater summer was the first 7 months of the Iranian calendar, 3 months of spring, 3 months of summer, and the first month of fall. Greater winter, the last 5 months of the year, 2 months of fall and 3 months of winter. 5 months of winter times 30 days, 150 days of winter. Sadeh marks 100 days into that period on the 30th of January or the 10th day of the month of Bahman, marking 50 days until the coming spring, until Norouz. The poet Manuchehri captures this inching toward Norouz, this gradual release from the grips of pale winter. بر لشکر زمستان نوروز نامدار، کرده است رأی تاختن و قصد کارزار. وینک بیامده است به 50 روز پیش، جشن سده طلایه نوروز و نوبهار. Comes galloping spring to crush winter's legions, vanguarding the way is Sadeh, the feast of fire, heralding spring in 50 days. Nowruz commands Sadeh, charge ahead into wintry night across the fields, and upon reaching the heart of night, invoke a golden towering fire. Fire. Atash. Agni. Adur. Adar. Atar. Arta. Asha. Fire. During the Achaemenid dynasty, Hachameneshian, great bonfires were built. Zoroastrians adopted temples of fire to hold sacred fire in iconic status, a symbol of the primal unifying force between humanity and the divine. Zoroastrian priests, mobeds, led prayers to fire, Atash Niyayesh. Atro Ahura Mazda, Putra Tavatarsh, Putra Ahura Mazda, Sauchi Buya Amyan Mane, Matsauchi Buya Amyan Mane, Rauchai Buya Amyan Mane, Vakshati Buya Amyan Mane, Daragam IPs, Ravanam, Upasura, Frashao Keretim, Hadasuraya, Vangwai, Frashao Keretoit. Fire, son of Ahura Mazda, unto thee, fire, son of Ahura Mazda. Purifier of all things, grant me divine light. May you burn in this house. May you ever burn in this house. May you, mighty flame, be in heart and hearth, ever steady, ever deep, ever growing, ever unquenchable, ever waxing, never waning until renovation be achieved. hundreds of birds were released carrying little fireballs to light up the sky. Fires were kept burning all night, reminder of the light to come. As winter draws to a close, one more fire ceremony until the coming of spring, the jubilation of the human spirit. Chehارشنبه Suri, Red Wednesday, held on the last Wednesday Eve or Tuesday night of the year, coming up in 2 days. Chehارشنبه Suri, the great excitement of this night, everybody setting up rows of bonfires on streets in their neighborhoods, children buying and bartering feshfeshes and sparklers and firecrackers for weeks, households in the middle of Khane Tekuni, spring cleaning, children going trick-or-treating qashogh zani, people standing around for falgush, grabbing a divination from random snippets of passerby conversations. Everyone stands in line at night to jump over great stacks of crackling bonfires, one after the other, after the other, after the other, chanting, Zardi man ast to, surkhi to az man, Zardi man ast to, surkhi to az man. My yellow old to you, your red energy to me, my yellow old to you, your red energy to me. Good riddance of the old, bring on the new, clearing the slate for the new year. We would go home at night with singed lashes, having inhaled smoke all night, thinking of the flickering feshfeshes and all the firecrackers that we stomped on all night. Never more ecstatic. Ah, the memories of Chehارشنبه Suri in the old neighborhoods.
سرخی تو بود ز من.
With Sadeh, Suri, and Khane Tekuni spring cleaning done, the magnificent shrine to the new year, to Nowruz, Haft-seen, is meticulously prepared. The history of Haft-seen goes back to Zoroastrians, who used to celebrate the elements of their 7 Amesha Spentas, Amsha Spandan, their bounteous immortals, their divine sparks, their creators of the world. They would celebrate these elements in Haft-seen, 7 trays, bearing 7 kinds of grains and seeds and flowers and breads and sweets and metals and so forth. Throughout the ages, Haft-seen, 7 trays, transforms into Haft-seen, now the 7 S's. The abundance of life is celebrated now with 7 elements starting with the letter S. Seed, apple, for beauty and health. Seed, garlic, for medicine and health. Somar, sumac, the color of sunrise. Serke, vinegar, for age and patience. Samanu, wheat pudding, for affluence and wealth. Sekke, coins. Sabzeh, wheat sprouts, representing vegetation. Senjed, oleaster for love and romance. The table is decorated with a vessel of water with a floating fruit, representing the goddess Anahita. Sometimes with goldfish, representing the transition from Pisces into Aries. with candles, sham, representing Mitra, the personification of light, with ayane, mirrors for honesty, decorated eggs for fertility, holy books like the Quran or the Avesta, books of poetry like the Divan of Hafez or the Shahnameh. Haft-seen is a living tradition. I have seen strawberries on Haft-seen, representing the letter S in this country. Though sometimes they are pronounced estrawberries, but they never let us stand for an S. Nowruz was established as a national holiday by Cyrus the Great of the Achaemenid dynasty and celebrated at Persepolis, Takht Jamshid, or the throne of Jamshid. Jamshid Jam was a mythical king in Persian mythology who reigned for 700 years, cultivating medicine and mining, textiles, perfumes, agriculture, calligraphy. He established the social classes and fought the demons, light overcoming dark, good triumphing over evil, the very spirit of Norouz. When he was done, he ordered a great throne to be built in his royal glory, فر زدی به فر کیانی یکی تخت ساخت چه مایه بدو گوهر اندر نشاط که چون خواستی دیو برداشتی ز هامون به گردون برافراشتی چو خورشید تابان میان هوا نشسته بر او شاه فرمان روا جهان انجمن شد بر تخت اوی شگفتی فرو مانده از بخت اوی به جمشید بر گوهر افشاندند مر آن روز را روز نو خواندند سر سال نو هرمز فرودین برآسوده از رنج تن دل ز کین بزرگان به شادی بیاراستند می و جام و رامشگران خواستند چون این جشن فرخ از آن روزگار به ما ماند از آن خسروان یادگار. Legend goes that when the throne was built, he ordered the demons to raise him to the heavens, and when they did, everyone bedazzled by the luminosity, his royal glory, emanating out of him like the blazing sun, showered him with jewels and declared that day a new day, Nowruz. So when Persepolis was being built, not only did they call it Takht Jamshid, the throne of Jamshid, but a great Nowruz tradition was instilled at the palaces. Picture the glorious spread at Apadana, the receiving palaces of the tributaries from all nations ruled by the Persian Empire, in a procession of all nations. Lydians, Medians, Babylonians, Assyrians, Sogdians, Arabs, Nubians, Greeks, and Indians bearing symbolic gifts on trays, sinis. Imagine the king and his court receiving the noblest of the tributaries to exchange witty pleasantries with. Where do you come from? What do you bring? Whom do you travel with? It is said that great columns were erected for Nowruz at Apadana with seeds that were spread all over the city on the 6th day of Nowruz, the presumed birthday of Zarathustra. Spring festivities included horsemanship and wrestling and a festival of flowers and dancing troubadours and singing carnivals and parades through the streets. harking the jubilation of the human spirit. As we speak, the earth is turning to equinox, spinning, getting closer to equinox, to the moment of Sal Tahvil, the transition of seasons. A moment of perfect balance when the equator and the sun are here. The sun directly over the equator. A moment of perfection and balance in time, when the end and rebirth are separated by but one breath. On the walls of Persepolis, the image of the eternally fighting lion personifying the sun, biting the bull, personifying the earth, symbolizes this ancient Iranian motif of eternity and equality of Nowruz, when all the powers are equal in one instant in time. This same motif finds its way into Iranian folklore in the story of Nane Sarma and Amu Norouz. Nane Sarma, Old Woman Winter, the queen of the realm of winter, and Amu Norouz, Uncle Norouz, the bestower of light and blessings. Yeki bud, yeki nabud, zir gumbad kabud, Nane Sarma sut kuro bi sada, پشت ابرای سیاه رو بام آسمون نشسته بود. Like nature herself, Nane Sarma awaits the coming of Amu Norouz, the coming of light. In some versions of the story, Nane Sarma waits for Amu Norouz all year, and finally, on the last eve of the year, she sweeps her home clean, brushes her hair, rouges her cheeks, puts her finest clothes on, prepares a lavish meal, brews tea, and sits waiting for Amu Norouz at Haft-seen. But she falls into her slumber before he arrives, and when he does, he partakes in her meal, leaves her a gift, burns some incense, esfand, but goes on his way to bring on spring. Theirs is a story of love and longing, two ships passing in the night, never meeting. In some other versions of the story, they do meet, but for a brief instant in time during Sal Tahvil, the transition of seasons. As we speak, the earth is spinning towards equinox, towards Nowruz, the moment of Sal Tahvil. It is believed that whatever happens at this moment sets the tone for the whole year. So no matter what time of day or night it is, families come together in their best light to laugh and embrace and kiss at this one moment. The excitement of the countdown of this moment, the excitement, do you remember? 1 minute till Nowruz. And then count with me, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nowruz, 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 Nowruzatan piruz, Nowruzatan piruz, baharan khojaste bad. Nowruz, Nevruz, Navruz, Navroj, Neyruz, Nowruz, Nowruz is celebrated all over Central Asia, the Middle East, the Black Sea Basin, the Balkans, China, and India for thousands of years, marking the inseparable link between humanity and nature. This is the day when the spirits of our good departed furuhars come back to check on their living.
آمد بهار ای دوستان، آمد بهار ای دوستان، منزل سوی بستان کنیم. آمد بهار ای دوستان، آمد بهار ای دوستان، منزل سوی بستان کنیم. گرد غریبان چمن خیزی جولان کنیم. بشنو سماع آسمان، بشنو سماع آسمان، خیزی ای دیوانگان، جانم فدای عاشقان، جانم فدای عاشقان، امروز جان افشان کنیم. آتش در این عالم زنیم، آتش در این عالم زنیم، وین چرخ را بر هم زنیم. آتش در این عالم زنیم، وین چرخ را بر هم زنیم، این عقل پاور جای را چون خویش سرگردان کنیم، چون خویش سرگردان کنیم. آمد بهار ای دوستان، آمد بهار ای دوستان، آمد بهار ای دوستان، منزل سوی بستان کنیم. هر روزتان نوروز، نوروزتان پیروز، هر روزتان نوروز، نوروزتان پیروز، هر روزتان نوروز، نوروزتان پیروز.
Lacy blossoms adorning naked branches, little green buds peeking up out of them, the sweet fragrance of the air, song of joyous birds, skies of blue. If paradise is on earth, it is forever spring in paradise. For 12 days, all households are teeming with people and foods and glee for spring. Everyone visiting their elders and receiving visitors during those 12 days, Didobaz deed, receiving gifts, AD, receiving small tokens, dashed that represent more tokens to come, more prosper to come. And finally, on the 13th day, a great outdoor celebration, Seizdeh, outdoor 13. This is a day of games and food and outdoors and sleeping under languorous afternoon trees. To some, the 13th is a day of superstition. Blades of grass are tied together, resolutions are made. Sometimes they play jokes on each other in the form of Durugh Seizdeh, the lie of the 13th, like an April Fool's joke. To others, this final day of Norouz is an occasion for an all-out celebration. By dusk, the Sabzeh is lain to running water, a symbolic act unifying the god of vegetation with the goddess of streaming, healing waters. May the flow return them to us. The cycle of the resurrection of nature is complete. A new year of hopes and beginnings has sprung. By night, baskets and blankets are carried back home, marking the final act of Nowruz. Life as we knew it before the celebrations resumes. And we who recognize, celebrate, and live this majestic cycle are all the richer for it. These, ladies and gentlemen, have been your Persian rites of spring.
آمد بهار ای دوستان منزل سوی بستان کنیم. آمد بهار ای دوستان آمد بهار ای دوستان منزل سوی بستان کنیم. گرد غریبان چمن خیزی جولان کنیم. بشنو سماع آسمان بشنو سماع آسمان خیزی ای دیوانگان جانم فدای عاشقان جانم فدای عاشقان امروز جان افشان کنیم. آتش در این عالم زنیم آتش در این عالم زنیم وین چرخ را بر هم زنیم. آتش در این عالم زنیم وین چرخ را بر هم زنیم. این عقل پاور جای را چون خویش سرگردان کنیم چون خویش سرگردان کنیم. آمد بهار ای دوستان آمد بهار ای دوستان آمد بهار ای دوستان منزل سوی بستان کنیم. هر روزتان نوروز نوروزتان پیروز هر روزتان نوروز نوروزتان پیروز هر روزتان نوروز نوروزتان پیروز